day, Dawns ARKS. Welcome everyone to your Phantasy Star podcast, recorded live on September 26, 2023. I'm one of your hosts, PrinceBrightstar, and with me is Rooks. Go ahead and say hello.
Hello everyone. Doing well today?
I'm doing pretty well. Yourself?
Okay. Better than I have been the last couple ones.
Glad to hear it. Alright, so before they get started today with the headline, I did want to bring up real quick here the roadmap, since that is going to be one of the things that we need to kind of pay attention to here. So, as you can see here, we've got what they're calling Halloween 2023 here, but this is basically spanning between October and November. Starting from the bottom, sci-fi anime, we know that's Spriggan, they told us about that last time. And then we got some Alliance space enhancements as well as new build parts on the way.
My theory is it's going to be both Halloween and some fall ornaments.
And then we've got Chapter 6, Part 3 coming up. Let's hope the main story doesn't last less than 10 minutes this time.
Big hope is that they know that costume changes don't count as story.
Right. Well, we'll see soon enough here. And then we've got listed here new high rank in Retem, dual quests, urgent quests, limited time quests ×4. We can pretty much push all those limited time quests into November for when the next seasonal event is going to happen. And then for the new high rank in Retem, let's say that's going to last for 2 weeks, and then we're going to get the dual quest and the urgent quest after those 2 weeks. They might split those up even further there. In terms of release, I'm actually hoping that we're going to get Lower Rama Quad first in this particular case, just so everybody doesn't go into the Al Noth hole to start off here. And then in terms of balancing the areas, I mean, you were proposing adding harder enemies in there, while the
the idea was that we could do this thing where, see, the whole reason why I don't know it got so popular is that the enemies were easier to just mow down, so players would zoom in there and the higher ranks. Oh, okay, it looks like we're going live, but the reason they always gravitated to I'll know is because it was just plain easier. The enemies went down faster. They could just mow down easily. So my proposal is for Al Noth is that they add in tankier enemies there while nerfing the enemies that show up in the higher rank Ramaquid, so that Ramaquid might be this time the easier of the two this time around.
Gotcha. It actually is Maquad. That's how they say it in the game. So
Yeah, I play nothing but the Japanese dub, so I'm not even sure how it's pronounced.
Oh, gotcha. Good point. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Looks like they just went live here. We're just waiting now for them to actually bring in the actual action here.
Radix, they did suggest. Brightstar already did suggest it was kind of like a derole style enemy when he was looking at that. So it's quite possible, though it does look like it might have a hood like a cobra.
Yeah, we'll have to see. But I mean, the back of its tail kind of looks like a fin there. But yeah, let's go ahead.
Maybe a fish cobra. That would be different.
That's true, yeah. Alright, let's see here. Yeah, so we're just waiting for them to go live here. Oh, and here we go. And, okay, let me get this up.
Welcome back, everybody, to NGS Headline.
Hello, everyone. It's 9 p.m.
So let's get started with NGS Headline. I'm the host of this show, Hiro Arai, the official NGS navigator, here to bring you the latest info on NGS. This is the second broadcast this month. How are you all doing? The ongoing seasonal event Autumn 2023 is offering limited time quests. If you haven't tried these yet, give them a try.
Why is he not facing the camera?
You can win Autumn 2023 SP scratch tickets to obtain
He's
weapon
trying something new.
and other items, as well as
I
rewards
guess.
for seasonal points and titles. Once again, this program is to inform players about the present and future of Sega's online RPG, PSO2NGSv2, or NGS for short, with info on current operations, future updates, campaigns, and more. This is a pre-recorded broadcast. If you would like to watch it in Japanese, you can check it out on the Japanese NGS YouTube channel. Without further ado, let's move on to the updates you've all been waiting for. NGS Hot Information. First off, I'd like to share some info on the October updates. Let's start with the video.
Alright, here we go. Let's go back to Ritem again. Night Shield Battle. Okay, so surprisingly they did actually add in a limited time quest.
Well, we have 4 to spread out over a period. They could probably get away with it. But this looks like it's back on the island.
Yeah, it does. And there's Vardius. Okay, Chapter 6, Part 3.
I'll try to be an instructor worthy of the stories.
Okay, that's not coming this
I need
week.
to meet up with a research team member.
Something wrong?
New outfit for Aina.
What do you think? Since I'm going to be training new recruits and all, I thought I'd get myself a new outfit.
Okay, so the Ritem sector update doesn't happen until the 11th then. Warp saucers.
Wait, that looks like it uses some of the technology from... you know those rings that you see around Ritem? That looks like it uses a miniaturized version of it.
Kinda, yeah. And then,
Okay, finally, we have some of the old PSO2 stuff returning.
yeah. Gigantus in Ritem. Oh, they're updating the Dread enemies.
Why did they do that in Alio?
I don't
Okay,
know.
never mind. Alio is supposed to be the newbie region, but still, they should be doing different ranked sectors for these things.
Wait, are we getting a level cap increase?
Did you see a level?
It said the Gigantics were going up to level 84.
We might be. I mean, that's the only way this works.
That was
Honestly,
not on the
doing it based
roadmap.
on battle power.
Oh, that's the new urgent quest, which is just a rank update for the mining rig defense.
I'll pass.
New Starless boss, which is, again, something we've seen before. All this is just pointing to that this is just Zephetto still being alive and everything.
Yeah, this is
What a
not-
pacifier in the mag! Wait a minute, we're getting the boost effects that we had from back in base.
Okay, so that's finally we're in alliance points. Yes, we're getting there, and suddenly have more reason to do the alliance tasks.
Yep.
I should not like those build parts as much as I do.
The mushrooms?
No, the knocked.
Ah.
Sorry, I do have a soft spot for a
Yep,
cyberpunk
there's
aesthetic.
the level cap. More backdrops. There's the rank 5 generation for add-on skills.
I missed it. What? Oh, does it cap? What does it cap at?
20, 20, 20, I think.
Okay, that might make things more sufferable.
Yeah, I didn't catch what the requirements were for each roll of it. We'll have to look back at that.
I think I'll be happy skipping on this AC ticket.
Yeah, nothing's really catching my eye here.
I have a bad feeling the lobby's about to become even more insufferable.
Could be, yeah. Well, they're trying to replace the Alma Ball with new motion there.
They're running out of ideas for the idols.
Yeah, so they're trying to make us the idols now.
What did you think? Let me walk you through the updates with some slides. Let's start with this. Starting October 4th, the limited time
Next,
quest
they
Night
were
Chill Battle will be
turned
available
orange. That
on the
usually means you
Kanai
hit the
Isle in
cap.
Aelio.
Yep.
In this quest, you have to destroy all the enemies that appear across multiple waves within a time limit. It features the stage from Blazing Battle, released in August, but the enemies that appear and the placement of stage elements are different. You can increase the time limit by destroying a certain number of target enemies or by destroying enemies with special markers. Defeat the enemy efficiently and make the most of your time to clear all the waves.
We're getting another ARKS record from this.
New limited time tasks and title tasks will be added that can be accomplished by completing this quest. Tackle this quest to obtain seasonal points and special scratch tickets. We'll also be holding ARKS records for this limited time quest. This time, parties and all classes for Night Chill Battle will be eligible, and 2 or more people can participate by taking on the challenge during the event period. You'll need to make good use of stage mechanics and party composition to conquer this challenging quest, so try to devise your own unique strategy and aim for the high
They're
score.
saying it was 20 million Meseta for the
Although not
rank
introduced
5
in the video,
in
3
the
types of special
show
AC
chat.
scratch tickets are on the way. First, in NGS Hairstyle Revival, tons of NGS spec hairstyles from the past will be re-released. Be sure to check the lineup to see if there are any of your favorite hairstyles, or some that you missed out on. The scratch count bonus includes powerful augment capsules like Halfinale S and Hyel Domina S.
I don't think many players are going to be going to that scratch for
Next,
the bonus count, given we got the SGE scratch coming
a
up.
selection of AC scratch ticket prizes
Agreed.
with NGS specs
Well, I don't
that
know.
were released
Hairstyles
in
have always
October
been
and
popular.
November in the past. The scratch count bonus includes the return of motion change items such as Dash Witch Chair EX.
Oh, I'm sure they'll be back for the
Arcs who
24-player
already
limited
have this
time
motion
quest.
change registered can recycle it into consumables at Item Recycle.
It's one of the best ways to
In
grind
addition,
titles, actually.
Type 1 Voice Collect October 2023 and Type 2 Voice Collect October 2023 scratch tickets are also coming. These are voice tickets released for PSO2 in Japan, divided by type. This array of items will make character creation a joy. On October 11th, we'll
All
release
I want
Chapter
is basic
6,
type,
Part 3 of the main
basic
story.
voice 11 for female voice 11.
Manon
So
takes on an
I'll update
assignment
to that.
as a surveyor to resurvey Halfa. Aina is a new instructor, and the protagonist becomes a guardian, with the three of them struggling to fulfill their roles.
Again, let's hope this lasts more than 10 minutes.
The protagonist meets Aina and Manon while fighting off the
I am
Starlights,
dreading that.
appearing around Halfa and handling requests from people. What do they end up overhearing?
I have a bad feeling
Everyone
this
looking
is going to
forward
be a
seeing how the tale of
glorified
the arcs
alpha
and
reveal.
Halfa progresses. We're updating the Retum region. A new object, the Warp Saucer, will be added to each exploration sector.
Now,
in
this
Retum
update
and to
actually-
the Maquad lower level combat sector. Warp saucers are nifty new objects that allow.
Yeah,
for
I like the
high-speed
idea of the
movement
warp
up to
saucer.
5 times
Yeah, this is going to make it
consecutively
so
by
much easier to
pressing
get
the right
around
button
to
at the
lower
right time.
Ramaquad.
Each exploration sector will also include a new trial called Tames Trapping, to capture Tames within a time limit, as well as Minin, which was introduced in the Aleo region.
We could see a lot more player down in that area then.
Gigantics, Dread enemies, and Recon Gigants will be added to Roof Maquad.
Oh, the bottom middle picture there. That's the enemy that was supposed to be showing up in December for on the roadmap. So I wonder what it's doing here.
Will be bumped up to level 84.
It looks like a Gigantic's version of the Dancer,
So be sure to
but
prepare
that's
thoroughly
missing
before
the
taking it on.
missing the leg hoops.
Dread enemies level 80 and higher will now drop C Dreadkeeper 5. In addition
You're
to
right.
drops,
You know what? You're right. Yeah,
C
because it's
Dreadkeeper
supposed to be
5
circular,
can
not
also be
just
obtained
a
through
straight line
Exchange
there.
Augment
Okay.
Capsule in the item lab.
So I have a bad feeling what we're going to see.
We've also got new Starless enemies for you to take on.
I have a bad feeling we're going to see that thing as
There are a number
a
of tricky enemies that require a new
as
approach.
the dual quest. No.
Part destruction is the key to success, so be aggressive
Could
when
be,
taking
yeah.
on these enemies. Title tasks will also be added in
It
conjunction
looks like
with
it might be
Retum
the Lizinto space one.
Completion conditions are based on completing the added trials and defeating enemies, so explore and earn titles as you go. In addition, a mysterious floating island will appear above Roof Maquad after this update. More details will follow in the November update, so keep an eye out for more info. Get ready to protect the rigs. We're adding Rank 3 to the Urgent Quest Mining Rig Defense Retum. Rank 3 will increase the levels of enemies and add Starless to each wave.
Oh, and I still have a ton of triggers for that too, so I should be able to just get in there a whole bunch of times.
Other features include the addition of warp saucers, which will make it easier to move
I
around,
think I'll be passing
and
on
changes
that.
to the background music, creating a whole new
Unless you
combat
call me in
experience.
to help.
In addition,
We'll see.
we're holding an ARKS records for field races. This time, we're looking for the best time on West Retum Dash Stage 1, solo, and you can participate by taking on the challenge during the event period. A new build part for Alliance spaces called the Alliance
Yeah, the
Mag
chat's
can
not
be leveled
happy.
up by the Alliance.
Yep. I suspect that Alliance Mag is going to grow up as we rank it up.
To 5 different boost effects at the
Explains
same
it.
time.
Explains the
such as
pacifier,
HP
basically.
up and
Yep.
experience up. These boosts can also be used by players who are not in the Alliance. The boost effects can be upgraded to more powerful effects by using the new N Alliance points.
Basically, but it's
N
really
Alliance
what we
points
needed,
are shared by
Radix.
the entire Alliance and can be obtained
makes the
by
Alliance
completing
more
Alliance
important.
tasks accepted from Tim,
Yep.
the Alliance activity support, or by clearing the Lucille exploration. We encourage everyone to work together to level up their Alliance Mag so it can help in battle. A new Noct series of build parts is coming soon. These are neon, club-style build parts that look great at night, so pick them up with some Genesis points and give your creative or Alliance space a new atmosphere.
I think we're going to push potency first on this thing. Probably be one of the easier ones
The
to level
Mushroom
up.
Build Parts Pack will be available in the AC shop with a mushroom theme perfect for fall.
And that's what we did with the original Alliance tree.
These build parts feature cute designs
What
like
was it you
mushroom
wanted to
houses
focus on?
and mushroom beds.
Potency.
Gotcha.
The mushrooms also glow at night, creating a magical atmosphere. The pack also comes with a new
The
building
world may end.
tool,
That's because we've got
which are a
Alliance
perfect match to
tree
natural
again,
settings.
or Alliance
So
Mag
we
as it's
hope
called
everyone
now.
gets good use out of them. Next, we have a variety of enhancements, functional improvements, and new features for you. First, class level 80 will be unlocked, and new class skills will be added. The purpose of these new class skills is to balance the use of long-range weapons in multiplayer, and will only be added to certain classes where applicable.
So does that
We invite you to
mean
try
Sword
out
is
the
going to
new
get a
class
long-range
skills.
attack now?
We kinda do
In
have
addition,
one. If you dash,
maximize
if you do a
enemy
successful
level and
sidestep
clear
dash,
difficulty multiplier
you'll zoom right to
maximization
what you're
set
targeting.
Will be added to Trainia
True.
challenge settings. Both of these can be used to aim for higher rankings in ARKS records, so make good use of them to climb the ladder. The specifications of all dual quests will be partially changed. First, the time limit for quests will be changed from 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay, that's a good change.
Clear rank requirement will remain the same, so if you are aiming for better rewards, the difficulty level will be the same as before, but clearing itself will be significantly easier. Second, during the dual quest, the boost effects of region mags will be disabled, and the HP of enemies
Nullify
that
the
spawn
augments,
will be
please.
reduced, allowing the dual quest to be played without being affected by the region mag status. These changes will make dual quests easier to play than ever before, so if you haven't tried them yet, we encourage you to do so.
Also makes it so you don't need those augments as
In
much
addition,
anymore.
We will improve the fact that it was difficult to see the lock-on marker when it overlapped with the core and other parts of the enemy during battle. The marker will now be easier to see in a variety of situations. Try it out and see what you think. Second, the item lab will now display the number of available support items, allowing the user to enhance items based on the quantity in their inventory. In addition, Generate Add-on Skill 4 and Generate Add-on Skill 5 will be added. Add-on Skill 4 requires 100 more class cubes, but the skill level generated will be 15 or higher. Add-on Skill 5 requires 5 N Master Cubes, a special item that can be obtained through means such as title rewards. The skill level generated will always be 20.
Title rewards, okay.
Soon you'll be able to create individual cell shading settings for different characters within the same account. To enable this change, the cell shading settings will move from the options to the salon under the Edit Miscellaneous menu. We recognize this may take some getting used to, but we hope it will allow everyone to make good use of the feature. When cell shading settings moves to the salon, those settings will be saved when you register looks. In addition, we'll be adding the ability to set cell shading settings for NPCs and other players, so we hope you'll enjoy playing around with these new options. We'll also be adding player movement motion correction to the
I always
options.
wondered if the cell shading could actually affect the
This feature will
stability
make
of the game.
movement more natural. Try it out in the field and see for yourself.
I'm not sure. I'm still gonna leave it off. I'd rather have the realistic look for things.
Frequently used portable holograms as favorites. Registering favorites will make portable holograms even easier to use. In other news, the maximum number of favorites can be registered for perform emotes will be expanded to 100. With up to 100 favorites, players can engage in a wider range of communication. Furthermore, we'll be adding a tab to the Salon's Select Accessories screen. Please note that the order of some of the tabs will change to accommodate this addition. Accessories should now be easier to find, so feel free to give it a try. What's more, we're adding a new backdrop for ARKS IDs. You can unlock it by earning the required number of title points. Start stacking title points so you can add some swagger to your ARKS ID. Next up, we've got the new AC Scratch Ticket, Street Beat.
I like my ARKS ID as it
In
is.
addition to outerwear with long-sleeve hoodies and street-style dancewear with baggy pants. It also includes a new version of the popular dance emote. Be sure to check out the scratch count bonus for alternate versions of the fan service motion changes included in the scratch ticket prizes.
But yeah, none of the costumes here are catching my eye here.
Those were the updates for the first half
And I
of
don't notice
October.
any cast parts.
Agreed.
Now, let's look at info for the second half of October and beyond, starting with this video.
I'm hearing Space Channel 5. Alright, Halloween 2023. But I believe... Yeah, this is looking... No, it's not. Okay, so it's actually going to be in both regions then. Okay, that's another emote they're turning into a motion. 8-star Ranaga series.
Not like
An
this, at
urgent-
least they're not just...
Is this the first urgent quest we've had inside of a cocoon?
I think. You know what? It kind of makes sense.
Also, what is that in the background?
I didn't see what you were seeing.
There was like a giant mech with the... Oh, actually, maybe that was a Didal.
I think so. Everything has an outline to it.
You're right. It's for the dual quest.
Oh, for crying out loud. Well, more dead content.
Yep. And it's not Derole, so... That's a shame. They're doing this rank after Alnothin. Actually, wait, did they ever show that they were updating Alnoth in the first video?
I don't think so. They were mentioning that that Ramaquaid would get the saucer things.
That's Spriggan.
More cutout stands.
Yep.
Well, at least male characters are going to get some much needed gear.
Interesting way to hold that gun.
Okay, that's better. Except the Slayer should be... oh well.
Brazen Plant Interception. Yep, there's another 24-player quest.
And judging by this, it looks like it's going to be during the seasonal event.
Yeah. Oh hey, we got a Niels one finally. Now is it Niels Steel or Niels Vera?
Can't tell because the two are so similar.
Yep. So far, this scratch is a pass for me. But what were you about to say?
There are a few things, but I'm just kind of laughing at the fact that calling fluffy animal ears horror-inspired.
Alright, so anybody that wants to sort of recreate a character from Idola in episode 2, there you go. There's your shot weapon. I'm surprised they didn't go for the obvious Michael Jackson thing.
Yes, we're going out of Thriller, unfortunately.
What did you think?
And definitely seeing
Let me summarize
Griffin's
the update with
argument
some slides.
for being able to turn off certain lore unfriendly
The limited
cosmetics.
time event Halloween 2023 starts on October 18th. This time, it's not just Central City getting a Halloween makeover. Retem City is also putting on a costume. Be sure to visit the region mags, which have been turned into pumpkins. Shiemi will be the navigator for this seasonal event, looking sharp in her Halloween threads. Since enemies are getting stronger, she is working on enhancing the strength of the arcs, and she would like your assistance. Talk to Shiemi and help her out. During the event, enemies that appear in the Retem region will become seasonal enemies. You can earn seasonal points by defeating them. So
Looks like
collect
Shiemi
as many points as you can
has that
while you
shot
help
weapon on
out
her back
Shiemi,
there.
and use them to get a variety of items in the seasonal points exchange shop. Reaper Rappies will rise from the grave in their cute costumes. And keep an eye out for the trick-or-treat Emperor Rappy, always ready for Halloween. At the seasonal points exchange shop, you can get the stamp Rappy and Liu Lin Halloween, a different color version of the motion change glide chopper, star gems, and augment capsules useful for dual quests. In addition, you can get a scratch ticket for the Halloween 2023 Special Scratch. The Branaga series of 8-star rarity weapons will be available at the seasonal event. Weapons available at the seasonal points exchange shop will have an enhancement level of plus 60 and a level 6 potential. They will also have augments added and their enhancement cap increased to plus 70. The augment Sezun Holofib 2023 is also affixed to help you battle enemies during the seasonal event.
Still
Event
counts.
tasks and titles will be added for the Halloween 2023 seasonal event.
Yep.
By completing the tasks, you can earn rewards including seasonal points, Gold Prim Sword 2, Gold Prim Armor 2, and N Master Cubes. You can also obtain the weapon camo Branaga Almaty by completing the title task, so be sure to take this chance to get your hands on it.
If I had to guess, we're probably going to get those Master Cubes through just leveling up to level 80.
The main feature of this urgent quest, which
I
occurs
hope
in
so.
the Trainia-like space, is that participants are equipped with the special armament Mobile Cannon ECS during the entire quest. In this special quest, enemies that can only be successfully attacked with a specific element will spawn, and only the unique elemental bullets used with the Mobile Cannon ECS can destroy these enemies.
Huh.
This
That's
quest
an
can be
interesting
accepted
idea.
as an urgent quest for Retem, so be sure to watch for it.
Yes.
I mean, it homogenizes
In
all the
addition,
classes, but
we'll be
still.
holding a Trainia ARKS records.
Well, it's a change in pace.
This time,
But
it's for
still.
Narrow Cage Rank 2 solo for all classes. And you can participate just by taking on the challenge during the event period. Halloween 2023 Special Scratch will only be available during this event period. It features new weapon camo, like the rugged Almaty CVM1 and Gurren Vari, as well as new accessories and other items. Some of the items that can be won in the Halloween 2023 Special Scratch will be added to the regular Special Scratch prizes after the event period, but they will be harder to win. So if there are any items you have your eye on, it's a good idea to get as many prizes as possible during the event period. Exclusive scratch tickets can be obtained at the Seasonal Points Exchange Shop, as well as through limited time quests. The new dual quest, Duel Phase 3, is reaching out to
Phase
slap
3.
you with a glove. This battle will take place on the West Aleo seaside against Zelvin, the new Starless boss enemy. The sleek, distinctive Zelvin unleashes attacks from the fins on its arms and hits with an all-powerful lightning-clad attack.
So I think At least as of right now, it seems like they're just going to be repeating this pattern again also in Kavaris as well.
Augments effective in dual quests.
We'll have to see about Spia. We get to the 12-month period after Spia, or after Kavaris.
That's why I'm dreading Radix. They'll do this again. You have to build an entirely new set of units and everything.
You can exchange for C Grand Dread Keeper by combining the C Iregis Fusia dropped in Dual Phase 3 with C Dread Keeper 5. In addition, the C Ret Sovereign dropped from the new ranked enemies in the Maquad lower level combat sector in Retum can be synthesized with augment capsules from Retum and exchanged for C High Ret Domino. A title task will also be added along with Dual Phase 3. By completing this title task,
we'll see if the High Ret gets rid of
themed title icons.
The deafness.
Title icons can be set as the titles on your ARKS ID in the same way as conventional titles, so you can combine them with other titles you have. Completing the title task can net you other valuable items such as the N Master Cube, as well as rewards including vital gauges themed after Garoa, Rosa, Orange, Ran, and Liulin. A new rank will be added to the Maquad lower level combat sector in Retum.
I don't get why they think we want character portraits on our life gauges.
I don't know either. I still have the default one set because I like being able to see that little area behind where it is, since it's transparent.
We encourage you to give it a try. In addition, Mission Pass Season 25 is on the way. Starting with NGS Season 25, there will be more items obtainable as normal rewards. In addition to items like stamps and accessories, valuable items such as personal shop use 3 days and SG scratch ticket prize slips will carry over in the lineup. Gold rewards will include accessories with the same look as the Leah Sholvacudor unit released in PSO2, as well as new and unique accessories.
So the SG slip might be
these while you can.
Nice to have.
To add to that, build parts with school and nightclub motifs reminiscent of PSO2 furnishings will make a comeback. Purchasing these with Star Gems will unlock tons of new possibilities for decorating your creative space and alliance space. Starting after the scheduled maintenance on October 18th, we'll be holding a collaboration with the anime Spriggan, which, through a combination of 2D animation and 3D CG, vividly brought to life the legendary comic that took the world by storm in the 90s. In addition to a scratch ticket, where you can get collab items, our collab with the Spriggan anime will feature limited-time login bonuses during the collab period. If you log into the game while the collab is running, you can get life-size cutouts of protagonist Yu Ominae and other characters as build parts. Be sure to log in to the game during the collab to snag this swag. I've also got some info on the new AC Scratch Ticket, Spriggan Style. This AC Scratch Ticket is packed with collab items from the Spriggan anime, including avatar items for cosplaying as Yu Ominae and Jean Jacquemin, weapon camo based on firearms and knives that appear in the story, an Arkham Corporation
I still haven't seen this.
as well as emotes, stamps, a poster
I haven't
you can
either,
use
but
in your
it
creative space,
sounds like it might be
build
good.
parts modeled after out-of-place artifacts known as O parts, and more. Please note that aside from the collab items, the lineup will include items from past AC Scratch tickets. The limited time quest, Drazen Plant Interception, is coming
Niels
on
Vera.
October 25th.
So now you don't have to do all those runs through the urgent quest.
This 24-player quest features
aside from the
battles
30
with Megalodics
for the
versions
title.
of Dolorous Vera and Nils Vera. Normal enemies will also appear during the battle, so watch
both
out
Vera
for the
versions.
attacks of the Megalodics boss enemies and split up to
Yep,
take
but
them
we
down.
just had Doldor's Vera in the current limited time quest
Along
that's
with this
ending
quest,
today.
We'll also be adding new limited time tasks and title tasks that can be completed by finishing the quest. So be sure to take it on to get the seasonal points, titles, and Halloween 2023 SP scratch tickets. We'll also be holding a field race ARKS records. This time, it will be for the Central Retum Board Stage 1 solo for all classes, and you can participate just by taking on the challenge during the event period. Don't scream! That's just our new AC scratch ticket, Monster Masquerade 2023. Bring Halloween to life with
Okay,
that
who's
themed
Hiro's
wear,
writer?
scary nurse outfits, and poncho outerwear
Probably the same
with
one
a
who's writing the
Reaper
story
motif,
for this game.
plus motion change items. For the scratch count bonus, check out alternate versions of the zombie motion change items included in the scratch ticket prizes. That's all for the update information I have for today. Moving on to the next segment.
Alright, let's see what they cherry-picked today.
NGS Operation Report. For this segment, the NGS Operation Report, I, Hiro Arai, select questions and comments from players to bring to the development and live operation teams and bring you their answers. Here is the first one. Can you add more opportunities for lower rarity weapons to play a more active role? Here is our team's response.
Huh.
In the October 11th update, we will make it easier to enhance
That may
the
have
strength
been
of
altered
lower
from people
rarity
complaining about
weapons.
how low rarity weapons are
For
completely
8-star
worthless.
rarity weapons or below,
True.
we will be increasing the chance of them dropping with preset skills. That was their
Okay.
answer. Let's move on to the next question.
That at least makes them a little bit more powerful.
It's easier to get a higher score on the random challenge records when accepting them at a lower level. Can you please fix this? Here's what the team had to say. This issue has mainly been happening with Trainio, but it will be improved with the new addition of maximize enemy levels and clear difficulty multiplier maximization set challenges to Trainio, making it so that the higher the level is, the easier it will be to get into the upper ranks. That was their response. Let's look at the next question. I would like to see more uses for EX cubes and class EX cubes,
Okay,
as
yeah.
they are piling up in
This
my
is a good one.
Here's the reply from the team.
Yeah.
Add-on skill 4, which was introduced today, will require a lot of class EX cubes. Furthermore, we plan on having EX cubes be required in a future update for an upcoming system that allows you to modify the performance of photon arts and techniques. That was their reply.
Okay.
It's great to see expansions that
So-
bring new value to existing items. Please sit tight until this is implemented. Let's move on to another
So
question.
X cubes are required for this new system, then.
Is it possible to shorten the wait time for starting quests? Here is our team's answer. We are considering including a system to start quests immediately as soon as the maximum number of participants have been reached, regardless of the time remaining. We plan on gradually adapting this feature to quests, starting with select quests that are suitable for
I've
implementation.
seen a lot of people complain about this. This
That was
might
their
work.
answer. It would be nice to be able to play with quicker pacing. We will be
But
working on
don't
this as soon as possible.
These quests typically
so please
start.
wait until it's ready.
Don't these quests typically
Let's
start
move on
only
to the
when the
final question.
maximum number of players have been reached?
The augmented
They
exchange
do. I
shop
think they're.
menu
I think they
is
might be
too
talking
long,
more
and
about
it's
when
hard
it's
to
actually
find the
starting, like that
capsules that I'm
30 to
looking for.
60-second start
Do you have
countdown.
any plans to organize it? Here is our team's response. We plan on adjusting the lineup for augment capsules that can be exchanged.
So the way they could do that is maybe do like a synchronization signal between all players to make sure they're all ready to go, and then it just goes 3, 2, 1.
Augment capsules that could not be exchanged until now, and take out those that are underutilized, making the augment capsules you need easier to find. That was their response.
Okay, so it sounds like they're removing some augment capsules there.
Moving forward, I will continue to select and bring your questions and feedback to the development and operations teams and share their answers with you. Please also let us know your thoughts and questions with the hashtag NGS Headline on X, formerly Twitter, and other platforms. Moving on to the next segment. NGS Satellite Information.
Yeah, if you want to get a hold of these guys, or at least
Now let's move on
have
to
a
the updates and talk
even
about
slight
some
chance
other
of getting in contact with them,
info.
you have to go through X.
I'm sure it will get you even more excited for the game. Let's get started. Starting today, September 26th, we will be holding our new and returning ARKS Call to Arms campaign. Players that post on X, formerly Twitter, to encourage new and returning ARKS to play NGS, and then fill out the submission form, will later receive 100 SG and an avatar item of popular PSO2 character, Matoi. In addition,
This reeks of
if a
desperation.
new or returning player sees your post and fills out the submission form with your player info, both you and that player will receive 400 SG.
Yeah, the website link is already up, so we'll bring that up as well later in the show.
What's more, new and returning players will also receive useful items such as boost items, along with the Matoi avatar item just by logging in during this period. So please take advantage of this opportunity to play NGS. Please check the announcement on the official NGS site for more details, which will include info on eligible accounts for returning players and more. The Creative Space contest will begin on September 27th. Post screenshots and videos of your own creative space to X, formerly Twitter, and submit them via the application form to enter. Prizes include an AC 5000 ticket and rental C-Space 1 tickets amounting up to a full year, and being featured as an official creative space at a later date.
So this is different with actual rewards rather than being just featured in a video in the future,
Structures and innovative ideas.
compared to
Once again,
what they did
sounds-
last time.
Once again, it's
Let's
reeking of
introduce our
desperation.
campaigns for October. Starting October 4th, we will be holding the Gear Up Your Class Special Campaign Part 2 to support with leveling up specific classes. This time, the 3 eligible classes are Hunter, Ranger, and Force, and we will release limited time tasks that can be completed by leveling them up. Change to an eligible class, then reach the target level and defeat enemies to earn commemorative plates that can be displayed in your creative space, as well as a luxurious completion reward that can be earned by leveling up all 3 classes.
I've already got them all leveled up.
Yeah, if it's
You
at the
can
same
receive
rank,
already
it's not going to be a
enhanced
challenge
extra
at all.
series weapons and
I mean,
some
same level,
support
I mean.
items, plus an item enhancement boost as well, making this a unique opportunity to try classes you may never have played before. Similar campaigns will also be held for classes not covered this time.
Or you just throw the class as your subclass, and then when you get to the right level, you just swap it to the main, and there you go.
Phantasy Star Remix is a
Exactly.
music event that will be held to celebrate the 35th anniversary of the
Hello.
Phantasy Star series, in which PSO series songs will be remixed by various musicians and played alongside newly drawn illustrations. The event will be held on YouTube and social media platforms. Please enjoy a vast array of remixes between October 11th and November 22nd.
So is this year's
To add to the fun, anyone who logs
Rappy
into the
Fest or
game
whatever it
after
was
the
called?
end of maintenance on October 11th and before the start of maintenance on November
Maybe, but
22nd,
they may be just.
will receive
Well, if I
weekly
recall,
music
the
discs
devs were actually
containing the
impressed by
remix
it,
songs,
so that means
as
they
well
may
as
actually
posters
be
of the illustrations
looking to
that
do
can be
this
used in creative
on
space.
both sides of the. Well, on both
We'll
servers.
also be holding an in-game
Yep.
movie concert, so please join us. Please check the player's site later for details. Prior to the event, we have prepared a teaser video of Phantasy Star Remix for your viewing pleasure.
okay?
I've heard that song so many times. I don't care how they
Oh, Gee Whiz did this one.
They remix it. I just can't. They can't make it sound good anymore. I'm sorry, Gee Whiz.
Next up is this.
It's just.
To commemorate the 10th
I've heard
anniversary
so
of
much.
PSO2 and the 35th anniversary of the Phantasy Star series, we will release a commemorative Blu-ray edition of the orchestra concert Sympathy 2023, held at Bunkamura Orchard Hall in Tokyo on January 21st. Buyers will receive bonus CDs containing the live performance of the soundtrack, as well as an item code to obtain the same in-game items as the ticket purchase bonus. For more details, please check the announcement that will be posted on the Sympathy 2023 special site at a later date. Lastly, here's some info on a new collaboration. We're happy to announce a collaboration between NGS and Frame Arms' Frame Arms Girl, the popular original plastic model content by Kotobukiya. The collaboration features Fresvel Otter.
I expect a lot of old
Suits, and
PSO2
accessories.
items are going to
Many
be
other
returning.
collab items will be available, including weapon camo, emotes, and build parts.
Yep.
Here is a brief introduction to Frame Arms and Frame Arms Girl. Frame Arms is an original robot model kit series created by Kotobukiya. By attaching the outer parts, armor, to the common core body, frame architect, you can easily build robots of various designs. And by reconfiguring the frame and armor, you can create infinite variations. Frame Arms Girl is a spin-off.
Though
with
I should
two
mention
shoujo
that
versions
Kotobukiya
of
also
each
makes the
unit from the
NGS
Frame Arms Mega
kits,
line
and the parts
that
are
features
compatible with the
3mm
system.
diameter holes and PVC ribs.
Okay, that's nice to
allowing
hear.
you to use a vast range of items such as MSG Weapon Unit Series items, Frame Arms Series weapons, and exterior parts. Both series have high compatibility and expandability, allowing you to create your own original bodies and characters. This was a popular collab in the past on PSO2, so stay tuned for more details. That's all for this episode of NGS Headline. Please share your thoughts and feedback on this program and the game using the hashtag NGS Headline. Together, we can make NGS an even more fantastic game. As a representative of the users, I will continue to work with the development team to make NGS a more enjoyable game for everyone. And I look forward to your continued support. The next episode of NGS Headline will be on Tuesday, October 31st. We'll be focusing mainly on the updates.
I wonder if
coming
Hiro's
in
going to be in
November.
costume.
Don't forget to like
That actually
and
would be a
subscribe.
nice change. I think he was not in. I don't think he was in costume last time.
Now then, Arks, I'll see you at the next.
Right, because I don't
NGS
think it
Headline.
landed on October 31st
Thanks
last
for watching
time.
here on Tuesday night. I'll see you on next NGS Headline. Bye-bye.
All right. Well, that's it for the headline.
Credits you say that, but I really don't. It's one of those things where they have been doing things so much on the cheap. I would not be surprised if they actually cheap out and just reuse the same PSO2 spec gear. Sorry.
It's okay. Let's see. So, okay, on the Japanese side, looks like they had what is this? A bit cache thing. And then we go into the various campaigns, including Remix. Let's see, they're doing something with Lawson. You know what, this is going on for a while here still. Let's switch over to this real quick here. Oh, we don't have any audio. Hang on. Yeah, so looks like a bunch of themed items here for it.
I'm still surprised.
And then I think I saw something else here.
ローソン PSO2NGSv2 バージョン2キャンペーン2023の開催が決
Kind of
定いた
skip through this here a bit.
ているロッテのオンラインアイテムをミニスタンドのご紹介です。
Yeah, here we go.
ご用意したのはビッグ
So
ア
you
ク
got
リ
like
ル
a
スタン
wall
ド、
poster.
缶バッジセット、ゲーミングマット、B2 タペストリーの4種類。こちらはロッピーと HMV&Books オンラインで
Watch these be attached to
本日よりキャンペーン
one
サ
of
イトが
those
公開されてい
AC
ますので
purchase campaigns.
詳しくはそちらをご確認ください。
Maybe. Actually, it's listing the actual yen for these, so I think these can just be purchased in store.
アミューズメントパーク富士急ハイランドとの初のコラボが
Yeah, and this
決
was
定
the
しま
other
した。
thing I saw here. Apparently, they're doing something with
期間は
an amusement park
2023
here.
年11月18日土曜から12月28日木曜。アトラクションコラボをはじめ、コラボフリーパスやオリジナルグッズ、
I guess they're gonna have a
コラボメ
VTuber
ニュー
there.
を発売します。コラボフリーパスには超豪華アイテムコードが付属。オリジナルグッズや一部コラボメニューにもアイテムコードが付属するので要チェックです。また期間中にオフィシャル VTuber ポポナのスペシャルイベントも開催します。
Okay, it's gonna be
イベ
Popona
ント当
that's
日
there.
はラッピングバスでのバスツアーも運行します。バスツアー限定のノベルティやここでしか
All right,
聞け
let's
ない
see what else they
限定
got.
バスツアー限定のノベルテ
Actually,
ィや
that's live
ここで
apparently.
しか聞けない限定アナウンスもあるのでお楽しみに。
So yeah, they got a lot of extra stuff going on this time on the Japanese
ラッ
side.
ピ
It
ング
looks
トレイ
like.
ンの運行など内容盛りだくさん。続報をお待ちください。続きましてはこちらの PV をご覧ください。
Oh, and here comes the song collection. Why did they? I mean, okay, yeah, we're not gonna get this in English, of course. Still, it's a shame they're not even advertising this on the English site here.
No offense, I don't know why Japan thinks that we wouldn't be. I mean, yeah, their songs are in Japanese, but I don't think that's a turn off to the people who would actually care about it.
Right.
there seems to be some sort of fear that will be turned off by the Japaneseness of something, and really, that's kind of that would actually be, sometimes that's actually the appeal.
Yeah, I mean, if they were that afraid of it, why not just disable the Japanese voice track then in that case? They're even giving out items with these, so... And emotes. So yeah, this is disappointing they didn't even bring this up on the English stream.
「ご覧いただきましたのは NGS キャラクターソング CD ボリューム1の視聴動画でした。アイナ、マノンのデュエット曲など
At the very least, even if people can't get over the Japanese vocalist, I mean, there are instrumental versions in there as well. So
B2 タペストリーがセットになった商品も富士急ハイランドとセガストア限定で発売決定。
that's right. I mean, that is a high price for a CD.
PSO2 10周年とファンタシースターシリーズの
All right, now they're getting into the sympathy concert.
1月21日に東京の
I've
文
heard
化村オー
things
チャード
about
ホール
how
に
they
て開催
price,
されたオーケ
like
ストラコ
how
ン
they
サート
price DVDs and CDs over in
シンパシー
Japan,
2023の模様を
and
収
they
録
get
し
away
た
with a whole lot
メモリ
higher
アルブルー
prices.
レイの発売
Then
が
again,
決
the
定いたし
yen
まし
has
た。
basically been weakened heavily as
発売日
well,
は2023年11月22日
apparently on purpose by the
購
Japanese
入特典と
government.
して公演の音源を収録したライブ CD とチケット特典と同様のゲーム内アイテムが入手できるアイテムコードが付属します。詳細については後日シンパシー 2023
All right, let's see if they have anything else here.
フレーム
There's frame arms,
を装置ゲームに対してメッセージ
and looks like that's it for the Japanese side.
I'll see
Alright.
you on next NGS Headline. Bye bye.
All right. So what do you think of this one?
Oh, I am looking at this, and the big thing for me was the story. And it looks like none of the bosses were connected to the story, meaning that the story is going to be a lot more people walking, well, standing around doing nothing. It's going to be a lot of a lot of saying a lot of things that don't matter. And then we get the dual quest again, which has an enemy locked in there just for the dual quest. And they're expecting us to go to phase. They're expecting us to be okay with an entirely new set of augments for that because they're going to phase 3. The whole thing is, a lot of it is like they're tone deaf, or things have been. They really need to. They probably know that certain things aren't going to be appreciated, but they're so slow to pivot to new stuff or pivot or change direction. They're still. Sega really needs to go. Well, they need to go into this development team and just figure out what nonsense is slowing down production, and cut it out. Basically, make the development team more nimble and able to respond to what the player base wants. And I don't mean the screenshotters. The screenshotters do not hold the game together. It's the main core players.
Yeah, after seeing what they had for the story there, considering we didn't see any combat at all, yeah, I'm expecting another story chapter or story part that's going to last less than 10 minutes here. So, yeah, I'm not happy about that. We'll have to see what we get with the mini episodes, though, because that at least might help a little bit here. I'm hoping they at least start talking about, something related to the Starless But I mean, I don't know.
Griffin, it could be coding, but at this.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Griffin. It could be, yes, it could be coding, but at this point, if it's still coding, they need to just get a task force put together and just fix the game's coding down to the core. Because if it's causing that much of a problem, then it's going to kill this game.
Yeah, if they have an engine they can't work with, then, you know, yeah, they either need to start the process of upgrading the game to a new engine, or they need to just rip the Band-Aid off and just get us whatever the next Phantasy Star game is as quickly as possible. I mean, it's entirely possible they're being held back by the fact that they're still running partially on the PSO2 engine here.
They've done a lot to expand it, but we don't even know what the engine limits are. We might actually be already at the engine limits, and that's why we don't see much in the way of new areas being introduced. It may have been quite a challenge to get La Seal up and running, for all we know. And the thing is, I've mentioned before the show that even though we aren't going to get new regions, that doesn't mean we won't be going off planet. They could always create instance content off world, kind of like how the quests were in base PSO2. But the question is, why haven't we seen new areas in, like, they could, like with the Trania, we shouldn't be in these virtual rooms all the time, these Tron rooms all the time. That's boring. We should be seeing, they could just import, since we are built on the PSO2 engine, they should be looking at importing the old environmental assets, and they could say these are previous recording of these other planets that the ARKS had been to in the past, and use that as an excuse to reuse those old assets.
Yeah, I'm curious what would happen if you just tried to load one of our characters into the old areas, like to Nefarious or something like that. Because, I mean, if collision works and things like that, well then, there you go. At least you have players running around in areas that they're familiar with then.
Yeah, and Radix, yeah, copy and paste into a VR sim, but it's basically like we did that, they kind of did that with Phantasy Star Universe, where you had what do they call it? These quests that could only be accessed for a short time, rare quests, and you would go into the old PSO areas in Universe that way.
I don't think it was limited. I think it was more you had a rare chance of triggering it to be available as the next mission you ran.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where it's been done before. That old content had been brought up. So yeah, they do need something to back up what they're saying here. NGS is, I mean, honestly, the first thing players encounter is the open world, and the open world is unsatisfying right now. That's not a good look. I mean, we're getting new trials in the field in Redum, but that's like we only seen one trial, and so far from what we've seen before from Headline, they rarely hide things from us. So we're probably only getting one new trial in Redum, and that still means that there's almost going to be no reason to be in the exploration world anymore.
Yeah, just basically build up your stock of crisp food, and that's it, basically.
Build up your stock, build up your minerals. And that's another thing. We have all these things built up, but we have no use for spending. We have no reason to spend them on anything. It's like, instead of making like we have how many places to hunt down resources, and it's basically all the same resource. I mean, I think we have like 4 regions worth of photon quartz now, and we don't have a reason to spend. We can't trade it into anything new. We can't.
Yeah.
A lot of this also could. I mean, like a lot of the problems they don't let us sell resources on the shops either. So there's that. So that hurts things as well. It would be a great resource for the free-to-play players to actually be able to sell resources on the shops that the new players could buy.
Yeah, part of the problem is anytime they introduce a new system, aside from what they just announced about X Cubes and the new Photon Art customization system, aside from that, and I think maybe 1 or 2 other things, usually when they introduce a new system, it requires a new resource. So it's like the resources you've been collecting this whole time is just useless unless you actually end up using one of the old systems. I mean, granted, to get from like level 1 to level 2 of not potential, the or maybe actually, yeah, I think it is potential on like weapons. You do need to level it up. No, to unlock the level cap. That's what it is. You need to use like the old resources, but that's about it that you use them for.
And they give us so many things just to skip that. We don't need. We have all the that just basically pays for the resources already. It's one of those things where like maybe we could have bought those skips using the resources and kind of like have this prepackaged thing that we could sell then on the player shops. But no, we can't. Once again, we don't have that ability because the developers either want to try to monetize it, or or is afraid, or just didn't think that far ahead.
Yeah, it's just not good here. I mean, when was the last time you actually spent photon scales? I mean, those were designed specifically for the Synchrom weapon series, but when was the last time you pulled one of those out?
Yep, and also I've used them to get the photon scales. You do have to use to get the photon chunk twos, but honestly, we probably have such a high stock just from all the events and such that we don't need to use. We probably have more than we'll ever need. Like when I last checked my chunk 2 stock, I think I was at 500 for both, and that's way overkill. I'm probably never going to exhaust my supply of those.
Yeah, and it's just easier to get those through urgent quests anyway, or triggers.
And because we can't sell them, newer players have to struggle to get the equipment up to spec, and many of them just don't try because they get distracted by all the shiny cosmetics that they want to buy off the shop instead.
Yep, and really the easiest...
They made it so that...
Go ahead.
If they really wanted to help speed up newer players into the end game, then they should have let the older players sell their unusable resources on the market, but we're not allowed to. This once again keeps being the same problem. I'm pretty sure there are players out there who have a humongous stock of Arms for Fire 2s and they can't use them for anything. So they're just sitting there storage, rotting basically.
Yeah, I know I'm sitting on like 35 or so of those right now, but I'm sure there are bigger piles out there. Unfortunately, what Sega has created here is a situation whereby, depending upon when you join the game, you're either going to have a really hard time or you're going to have a really easy time getting the gear that you need, because they do this alternating pattern of major update and then seasonal update, where during those seasonal events, that's the easiest time to get into the game. And then when there's a major update going on, you basically... unless you kind of know what you're doing, where to look, and all that sort of stuff, you're basically waiting for the next seasonal event to come around where you can actually get some decent gear to push you, at least start to push you into the end game.
And as I mentioned already, this problem makes it so that we have a lot of new players forced into missions that they have no business being in because they're under-equipped for their gear. And there's no easy way for them to rectify it, so people get angry at them for even joining, but they can't help it because either the resources aren't there for them to build up faster, or they have to. There's a lot of problems with how they have this game managed.
Yep. Here's a challenge for you. I would love to see somebody that, you know, Sega puts out these minimum battle power requirements. Fine. Let's see a solo player take down Dark Falls Solace at minimum battle power. That, like, are those requirements even realistic to even complete the dang thing?
And not at all. And it's one of the things where battle power the way the battle power is now calculated, it's not even feasible. It's not reasonable because you can reach most minimal battle powers without even touching the augment system, and that in itself is a problem when NGS when augments are about 50% of your power right there. Some way you can say more than that.
Yeah, Sega's really got a bad trap here, and they got to figure this thing out before whatever the next major thing they're gonna pull on us is, or else we're gonna end up in the same situation. I mean, I don't think players are ever gonna say bring back expert blocks, but at the same time, you know, that did happen. There's no way around. It did happen in the game's history, at least on the Japanese side, where all the expert players ended up in their own exclusive blocks so that they could play together, and then those that were underpowered or couldn't complete those quests just never got the help that they needed.
And they tried to fix that by keeping us to one run of an urgent quest in New Genesis, but it became clear that wasn't enough. Newer players need to run the urgent quest more times so they can get the resources they need to upgrade their equipment faster.
Yep. I mean, they can kind of get that through the Alliance badges, but at the same time, do players know that they can get those badges without being in an Alliance?
I suspect not. Though you can go start your own alliance and later have it merged into another player's alliance, but that's still not what the average new player is going to think of.
Yeah, there are just too many systems that have problems in the game, and this is kind of one of the big things that's holding the game back, aside from, you know, top-end content being rare to come by. That's the other part of it, but, you know, at this point, we're kind of beating the dead horse here.
Let's move on to the...
Yeah. Let's move on to the updates here, including what they brought out during the show, the announcement about the ARKS Call to Arms giveaway here. And actually, let me shrink this, because otherwise this is going to cover chat. There we go. Alright, so yeah, basically for this, you access the online ARKS ID generator, fill in the player name of the account you're using, and then, actually, why am I not getting a scroll bar for the horizontal here? Alright, maybe I do have to do this just temporarily. Yeah, then generate your online ARKS ID. Then you save the image of the ARKS ID that you generated and make a post on X.
And I'm going to emphasize, for the Japanese side, X is a big part of the stuff. It's still the premier social media service. So no matter what your opinions are, if you want to reach Sega, it has to be through X.
Yep. And you can see here, because of the change that that X made recently regarding their API, they suspended the posting function of the ARKS ID generator. But yeah, for posting, you're gonna get yourself looks like several items here, including the An Innocent Ensemble, along with some Giga Strugment and Growth Mint. You also get 100 Star Gems. And then anybody that started or returned to NGS because of the Call to Arms post, they're going to get 400 Star Gems. And this will be distributed in mid-November. As for eligibility, new players are anybody that creates an account for the first time between 8 a.m. on today, actually, so about an hour and 20 minutes ago, to the end of, or rather to the start of maintenance on October 24th. And then returning players are anybody who logged into the game during the campaign period without having been logged in between August 30th and September 26th. Oh, and then there's even some more stuff listed here. So you can get yourself some. I think this is for the this is for the new and returning players. So for this, you get some NEXP boosters and rare drop boosters. Again, with the An Innocent Ensemble, color change passes, and salon free passes, along with the Curio Clarissa 3 camo and Lilpin lamp. And for letting them know which player invited you, you're going to get 400 Star Gems.
I suspect there's going to be a lot of I suspect there's going to be a lot of push from the influencers to get their name, to use their names for this.
Yeah, but I was under the impression that, yeah, I think this is capped at just one extra boost of 400 Star Gems. Yeah, here we go. You can only receive each reward once per account, even if you make multiple posts or multiple new or returning users submit. So, yeah, this is a one-time thing. So, there you go.
Well, that's better. Bit more balanced. That was.
Yeah. Plus, I don't think Sega wants to give away like 30 to 50,000 Star Gems to an influencer. All right, you guys are getting covered here. Let me shrink it. Yeah, that's a funny way to name that there, but yeah, it's could be one way to see this event. Yeah. All right, let's move on to some of the other news that we have here. Let's see. So we do have those balance adjustments coming up on October the 11th here. For Fighter, for class skills, you've got Overload and Overload Short Cycle. Those both have a reduced cooldown time now. For Rangers, they've made an Assault Rifle adjustment. The potency of Assault Rifles will be increased when the potency is less than the maximum due to distance. For Twin Machine Gun, they increase the potency when the potency increases less than the maximum due to distance, so similar there. For Forces, Photon Flare Short Cycle, you have a reduced cooldown time on those, and then for Rod Attack Impact, increase potency and relax the weapon action cancel timing. For Braver, for your Brave combat, they adjusted the bow combat finisher so that the bow attack impact gauge accumulates. And then for bow, you have an increased amount of bow attack impact gauge for Flex Arrow, Frenzied Firework, Dimensional Ray, and Ceaseless Draw. So basically all your photon arts. So nothing too big, but I believe this does go into partly what they were talking about, the other changes that were coming.
Honestly, the bow, from what I experience, if my experience is still relevant, the bow needed these. But Force could probably use some just general potency increase, because apparently it's hard from our one Force main in our server. There was a huge issue trying to even complete the dual quests with the augments that were provided.
Yep. Yeah, and with the reduced cooldown time, I wonder if this is going to, yeah, it should definitely increase the DPS, and then with the rod impact, I guess the question there is going to be, well, no, they make it pretty clear here. There isn't a timing change on that. It's just pure potency here. That's being increased. All right, moving on. So we need to talk about this. This is the AC purchase campaign. Purchase AC and get gifts. This goes on until October 3rd. And so with this, with 500, if you buy 500 AC or more, you get an NEX wow, what a tongue twister this one is. NX EXP earned plus 25%. For 4,000 AC or more, you get the NEX rare drop rate plus 25%. And keep in mind, these are NEX, so they'll stack with the other boosters that you've got. By 8,000 AC or more, you get the NEX EXP earned plus 50%. And then at 12,000 AC, you're going to get a second of the Atarika Nail Tips accessory, an NEX EXP earned plus 50%, and an SG Legacy Coordination Badge pose.
Exactly, Azer. It is a whale campaign.
It is a ridiculously priced campaign. This is insane at this point. Who's going to spend $120 on a badge like this? Especially when it's an SG badge, so it's not like you can even trade the dang thing.
The thing is, if I checked correctly, I have every pose from the SG scratch. But yeah, basically this is Sega saying we're desperate right now, and I would not be. And instead of doing the right thing and trying to make the game better so that people come back and start playing the game properly, they are trying to get the whales to come and save them.
Yeah. And that is not a good look for the game at all. This is horrible. This is I'm just speechless about this whole thing. This is ridiculous. I don't know. If it was priced... Go ahead.
Oh, I'm just responding to Azer. While it looks they haven't really had any losses with NGS yet. That's the thing. It's still making a profit. It's just not making the profit it used to. And the thing that we have learned, especially recently, it doesn't matter if something makes a profit. It depends on if it makes a profit enough to maintain the service. Like, there's a lot of things that made Disney a profit, but it did not make enough. But the profit margin wasn't large enough to actually make the whole thing worth it for Disney. So they would kill off these projects when they just didn't make enough money. NGS was Sega's big moneymaker once upon a time. It's still making money, but it's not as much. And the fact that they're doing this shows a very clear sign that they're just not, that Sega's starting to sweat. Which, in a way, this may be a good sign that they will actually try harder now. Or they will just go into pure desperation, and we're heading the way of Idola here.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, the way things are going, if this doesn't, if NGS stops making as much money, I mean, then of course it would make sense that they would kill the project. I mean, it's still going to take. Sega at least has a history, thanks to Idola, of as well as actually in the US and Europe for the PlayStation and PlayStation 2 version of Phantasy Star Universe, Ambition of the Lumens. They at least let their stories play out before they killed the projects. But yeah, it's beyond that. I could see, depending upon where Sega is with whatever their next Phantasy Star project is, they could end up shutting the server down in, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, depending upon when they were going to have the next natural break in the story. And then, if they're just not ready on a new Phantasy Star, then they're just not ready. And we're going to have a break like we did between End of the Millennium and Phantasy Star Online.
So just to soften the doom and gloom here a little bit, Sega knows NGS. Well, they know PSO2 can make money. They know that there's money to be made here. The problem is they're going about it in such a wrong way that they're panicking now. They're not getting what they expected out of this. And really, it's a case of Sega's own fault. They're not doing the work that they need to be doing for this.
Yeah. Azer, to your point, yeah, I wonder if Yoshi P would want to help with the game.
I wish he could help. Honestly, he would probably walk in, and if he was given free reign, he would probably walk in to Sega and say, "You're doing everything wrong. You're a bunch of idiots. This is how we're doing it from now on." And we would probably end up with a subscription-based PSO2 game. And they might still have AC Scratch for the sake of cosmetics, because players want those cosmetics. It's one of the big things PSO2 does have going on is character customization.
Yep. And the thing is, Sakai and Yoshi P, they're friends in real life. So it's really surprising that the game has ended up like this, when Sakai was supposed to still be, like, brand manager or whatever he is now for the Phantasy Star series.
Well, it's kind of, I suspect so my theory is that Sakai got control of the series after the portable series was a success, and then also the first 3 episodes of PSO2 he was also in control of, but people were complaining about the balance adjustments, because the game was extremely unbalanced back then. Basically, you were playing Braver or nothing at all. So my suspicion is that when they brought in, HMZK, they he brought in this aesthetic and changes to the game that really were successful, and Sega saw a sudden surge of money. That's the only thing the execs saw, was the surge of new money into the game. So that's how he got his foot in the door, and basically they put the wrong people into the leadership of this game. So unfortunately, a bunch of bad decision makers got into places that they shouldn't have been, purely because they got lucky and they were built on top of an already working game. It's also possible Sakai just doesn't want to come back to Phantasy Star because he wants more freedom. I mean,
That's true.
Can you blame anyone being tired of working on an MMO for 5-6 years and just getting tired? I don't even blame Yoshi P for being tired of working on Final Fantasy XIV after all this time.
Maybe so. I mean, there are MMOs out there that have lasted a long time, but I agree, the development team does change from time to time. It's just a question of, can the new team that comes in hold the quality of what came before, and unfortunately, we have not seen that from New Genesis at all.
What we've seen, so there was an interview with an old Blizzard developer I saw, listened to. I think it was on Azer. I don't know if it was Azer's channel or someplace else, but this guy who was one of the founding Blizzard employees, basically said the first team was all passion. They were looking to make the best game they could make. But as things went on, they got people who were looking for careers, and they were not as gung-ho as the people who were in there. I think right now we are pulling a lot of people from colleges who have no passion for the game, but just want a paycheck from day to day. So they don't really care if they're putting out quality. They're just worried about making sure the game stays alive long enough that they can pay off their house or something else.
Yep. And that's why sometimes I wish game developers, if they're going to work on a long-time series, they at least have to know some basic things about the series itself before they actually have a crack at it.
Basically, I would like to have Sega just put a pause on development for about a month and force their own development team to play the game and make them be the only game that they can play. No phone games, no nothing else. They have to play this game, and everything that they find frustrating about it, they have to fix. They have to get to the end game. They cannot play around with just the cosmetics. They have to actually do all the challenging stuff, and they have to actually figure out how to make the game comfortable and pleasant to play. They have to look at everything that bores them and that feels boring to play, and find a way to fix it.
I would say one. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I think you're going exactly where I would be going.
I was going to say, I would say 1 month is not enough time. I'd say make it 3 months of paused development and force them to play Phantasy Star Online, Phantasy Star Universe, and the original Phantasy Star Online 2, on top of the current game, and let them see how things are different and how things are worse now than they were in the past.
Well, if you're going to have them play other games, I would also say have them play Final Fantasy XIV and have them look at how they handle their open world and how all these other games handle their open world. Because they took the model from Breath of the Wild. I don't think Breath of the Wild's model works. I mean, even Breath of the Wild's open world is better because they have events all around the open world that players can encounter. And it's much larger in scale than the 2x2 miles we have to work with here. People complain about the Photon Dash breaking the game, but the problem is it's not that the Photon Dash is overpowered for the open world. So the problem is the open world is basically something I could walk in less than 30 minutes if I wanted to. Just a general jog, and I could probably reach the edge of the open. I could walk basically the distance of the open world in less than an hour, easily.
Yeah, and Radix, I'll agree with you there. I would also say get them to play Diablo as well. Diablo and Diablo 2. Let's keep 3 and 4 out of this here, just so that they can just see the basics of what made that series great early on. We can't necessarily say the same for 3 and 4, considering the failures that happened in those games. But at least Diablo 1 and 2, let's see, and any other similar games. I agree with you, Rooks, that having Final Fantasy XIV in there is probably also a good mix. Okay, so maybe we're looking more at a 4 or 5 month pause now, given how many games we're asking them to play. But at the same time, you know, it feels like they went into this without doing any research. That's one of the big things that you need to have in development, because otherwise you're just going to be aimless. But yeah, at this point, we're beating a dead horse here, I think. But it's, yeah, they gotta make the game better before they keep pushing high cost cosmetics, because this is just ridiculous. And this is $120 for just a pose. It's not really even a cosmetic.
Now, in their defense, I think they're doing this as a general come-on. Do this. I don't think they actually expect people to. This is kind of like a reward for the people who are already going to be spending that much. So I don't think they're expecting most people to even do this. That's why the reward for this is kind of meh anyway.
Could be, yeah. But still, it's still ridiculous to see it so highly priced like this. Anyway, let's move on here. So there was an issue that has been fixed. Color variant colors were not being reflected in the effects of the weapon camo Rappy Cane, rather. That was updated on the 13th. There is also an ongoing SG shop sale, although this is going to end today, once maintenance happens. So for this, you get, for the price of 700 Star Gems, you get an NEXP earn 24-hour plus 50%. Actually, you get 3 of them, and then you get a bonus Hal Finale S and a bonus Mastery 4S capsule, and those S capsules are 100% guaranteed. Now, keep in mind, you do also have the upcoming SG Augment Scratch coming up. I think it's next week, if I remember correctly. So, just make sure to keep that in mind here.
I would say this is not worth it, honestly. The Hal Finale S, you get the Lucille version very easily, and I suspect, if I recall, the Hal Finale by itself isn't worth it. And the Mastery 4, most of the time at this point, Mastery 4 is no longer even really considered a top tier effects anymore, because half of it's useless with the current mid-up weapon.
Yep. I'll agree there. Moving on, there are some changes happening in the SG Scratch ticket distribution method. So this happens starting on September 13th. So basically, The way that it used to be is the SG Scratch ticket lineup used to update prizes about every 6 months, but now it's just a rolling series, effectively. So the old stuff gets dropped off, and the new stuff replaces it. And then they also discontinued the stage bonus, so now there's just no stage bonus instead of doing a certain number of scratches to get up to the next stage and get the rare items more frequently. Moving on from that, Gear Up Your Class. Part 1 of this is still ongoing until October 3rd, so just make sure, if you're going to do it, go ahead and make sure to get it done before October 3rd. During this campaign, there is the enhancement success rate plus 20% and the augmentation success rate plus 5% going on. You know what, they didn't mention it, but I wonder if that's going to continue into the next one, now that I think about it.
Which part?
The enhancement success rate and the augmentation success rate, because keep in mind, we got Hunter, Force, and Ranger coming up with the next one.
They might, but then again, Hunter, Ranger, and Force are all much more popular classes to play.
Yeah, so maybe they'll swap these rewards out with something else. Or not do them at all. Alright, and then moving on from that, of course we have scheduled maintenance tonight, starting at 10 p.m. Eastern, at which point we're going to have a new limited time quest tomorrow. So if you still need to get runs done for titles for that 24-man that's currently going on, then make sure to get them in. Just keep in mind, you don't need to count the Doldoros Vera anymore, since we know that's coming back in another 24-man next month. Alright, moving on from PSO2 New Genesis. We have some updates from Clementine. So, on September the 10th, the Guardian Drop Road was back at Perone. So Step 1 was Lightning Beast, Step 2 was Seed Express, and Step 3 was Seed Assault. And you can always check what your current step is at Leo on the 4th floor. They added some drops from the GDR box, that being the Galwin Burst /U plus Shiny, the Shiga Desta, the Svaltia Tomahawk, the Yuzu and Iokan, and the Ancient Saber. Those are dropping from the GDR box. They also added bonus drops to the GDR missions, that including Lightning Beast, or rather 4 Lightning Beasts. You got the Master Galactus, Seed Express, you got the Lavish Slasher, and Seed Assault, you have the Siren Glass Hammer. And GDR missions will have an additional roll from each of their clear boxes. And then from the Perun GDR shop, players can now convert their old Perun ABC tokens at the Perun GDR shop to a single token. And then there was another update. This update actually just happened yesterday, so Guardian Drop Road was then changed with this update to new days. So Step 1, Infernal Gardens, Step 2, Sakura Blast, and Step 3, Flowery Pursuit. And then the following we're dropping from GDR boxes. You got the Tradition, the Drago Puppet, Eleanor, Vanbrella, and the Windmill. And in terms of the bonus drops from the missions, Infernal Gardens, you got the Sig Per, or Sig P Ultra Rare, rather. You got from Sakura Blast, Last Swan, and then Flowery Pursuit, you got the Furin Kazan. And then there were a whole bunch of balance changes that were made as well. So even at the class level, you got Forte Gunner having their ATP modifier increased by 10%. But then you've got all these different photon arts that had different changes here. So if you're interested in the list, these are available on the wiki for you to take a look at here. I'm not going to be reading through each of these. This is going to take forever to do so. But one last thing they added here, they had a bug fix where they corrected Svaltia Tomahawk /U's weapon model. And then a couple of other updates from Clementine here. These were posted on the Discord. So we already went over the GDR here. But they also mentioned, in addition, a 1.5 times EXP boost is going to be applied to all 3 GDR missions, only on C to S3 ranked difficulties. While these lower difficulties will not have any of the usual GDR bonuses, they will still provide a benefit to lower-level players looking to level up outside of Wicked Invasion. And then one last update, they had to do a quick restart on the server yesterday. They reduced the hitbox of Twin Pen due to being bigger than intended. They fixed text being broken again. And they fixed laser cannon bullets being the incorrect values. And moving on to Iphinia. And this post had been edited, actually, because this had to be done twice, apparently. They had only updated the untech gamble table the first time. So what they're talking about here is, if we actually go down to the first portion of the post here, which is actually over here. So when server maintenance was completed the first time, they made changes where they fixed an issue in Claire's Deal 5, where Montague wouldn't allow gambling for the hit upgrade on 2 Bringer's Rifle skins, rather. And then they returned the Hunter NPC to the Anniversary Shop so that you can gamble your golden badges again. Also, the chances for percentages have changed, so now you have a 25% chance, up from 10%, to get hit on weapons received from the Hunter NPC, and chances for particular values on any percentage, including hit, have also been adjusted, so you have a 5% chance for 40%, up from a 1% chance, 10% chance for 35%, up from a 1% chance, 15% chance for 30%, up from a 1% chance, 20% for a 25% chance, up from 1% chance, and then 25% chance for 20%, up from a 5% chance. Otherwise, you're going to get a 15%. And then going back to the top of the post here, so again, they only updated the unteched gamble table the first time, so now even the teched ones are updated. They also fixed a bug that could cause armor and units given out through the quest to have some bad stats, which showed up in the bank sometimes. And they'll have to fix the bugged items later, though the game cleans up the item in memory when withdrawn from the bank automatically. So that's it for Iphinia. Again, it's only been 3 or 4 weeks since we had the last Dawns ARKS here, so not too much else had really changed here over that time period. Was there anything else you wanted to bring up today, Rooks?
Not really. I think that's all.
All right.
Unless you want to bring up the collab you did with another channel.
Yeah. So over for a little bit here, I've actually been working with Rooks on a channel that they run, or not run, but they're a part of. What is that channel called again?
The Royal Rodent.
And basically what we've been doing in that series is we've basically been taking a hard look at the story of New Genesis from the start, and really criticizing what we're seeing in there, including, the fact that, we've got all these points where it'd be really nice to see the seal in the sky, and we just don't. As sort of like an indication of what's to come. What else would you want to say about the series?
Also, some points where we explain why certain storytelling methods they're using really fail. Like, for instance, how basically not giving the player enough of a role in the story is kind of causing people to turn off from the story and such.
Yep, I'll agree with you there. We're still in the process of doing this series, so we've got up to the end of Retem, I believe, released at this point here. But yeah, if you want to put the link to that in chat, go ahead, Rooks, because I'm sure there are a lot of players or people here that would like to know about this series as well. After this show, I'll also put a post on my channel as well, linking to the series as well. Just revisiting before we close out here today. So we do know about everything that happened today here. We still don't know necessarily everything that's going to be happening in November, but if I just bring up the roadmap again here real quick before we close out. So basically, what we still have at this point is several of those limited time quests here. I think we're now at this point. I think we're only going to get 2 in November, since they showed off 2 today. One being on the island, and then another being on the being for not the Halloween event, but it's the 24 man that's coming up. So we'll have to see what they're doing for November here. And then, as they say here, in December, we're getting yet another ultra-high difficulty standing party quest, so that's going to be yet another Dark Falls Solace-like fight.
If that's how it's going to go, but it's also a thing like where we also have a dual quest, so I question if that silhouette we're seeing is actually going to be part of the party quest, or if that's just going to be part of the dual quest by itself.
I don't see a dot next to the party quest, so I think it is all just one thing. The dual quest is its own separate thing, though, and then there's one more limited time quest. So yeah, we'll see what happens here. With that, we're supposed to get Chapter 6, Part 4. We'll see what excitement we have for the end of the story for Chapter 6, if there is anything. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it for what's coming up. After December, then we're going to have to... I guess in January, they'll reveal the next roadmap. I'm still wondering when we're going to get another player survey at this point, because this is getting really long at this point. That being, if they even have any intention of listening to the player survey. I know we had the survey about which character was popular a little while back. Go ahead.
Yeah, and they got a Rude Awakening. Manon only got 3rd place.
Yep. Zephetto was 2nd place, and then I think it was Kanui that was in 1st.
Yep. And I'm pretty sure, and it wasn't even by a huge margin here either. So I suspect we actually got a decent spread across the characters that they were offering. So
yeah, and there was even recently, I actually poked a little fun at the video series that they were putting out regarding the different characters, and I'm trying to pull it up now here. Let's see, where is this thing? I've been that far back.
if there is one bit of advice I can give Sega, it doesn't matter what characters you throw at us. The only character we really guarantee to like is the one we make. So, yeah, I'm going to heavily recommend against heavily pushing these other characters like that again.
Yep. Okay, why is Firefox not letting me Oh, that's why. Okay, hang on. Yeah, here we go. So, as part of what Sega was doing fairly recently, they put out these little character videos, lasted like 15 seconds or so. I said, let's have some fun. The main story has a character in the Stia region that handles communications, Noroshi. They show up for like 25 seconds and then are seemingly never mentioned again. You can't even find them in Stia Camp. And I wonder what their character trailer would look like. And that apparently got a ton of likes on it from other players. I think my post here ended up being the most liked, just for how out of left field it was. But seriously, I mean, some of the characters here are just so unlikable that you actually have people that want to see some of the least shown off characters in the game. I mean, what do you say to that, Sega?
Thing is, Manon started out really liked. Then you saw her stars start to fall simply because they don't handle the character well. And as I said, the first trick to getting this game to work, to have things work, is you need to focus on the player's character, then connect the other characters to that player's character. That's how you get. That's basically how you make the other characters. It's kind of the same principle. It's kind of basically the same principle as how you have to be a friend before you can have friends. People are generally selfish and they want to see the character that either represents them or the character that they put their focus into shine first before they really start to care about other characters.
Yep. Yeah, so that's one thing that they do need to do. They do need to put more focus on the player's character. And all we can do at this point here is hope that now that Aina and Manon are effectively breaking away from us, that's going to happen here.
Problem is, I suspect that as they break away, this is trying to get us to go, oh, don't you want the back? Don't you want the back? Don't you see this new cool costume they have? Don't you want them following you around? And it's basically going to be a come on, and they're going to get a rude awakening when the players aren't really going to be clamoring to have them back.
Exactly. Yep.
And Rax, you gotta remember, the player character will always be the main character in the player's eyes, no matter what.
Yeah, the story needs to be fixed. This is the time to do it. I can only hope that they actually do something here to actually bring things in line with what needs to be happening here. Because this is supposed to be our story, the player's story. And having other characters just come in, do the things that we were supposed to do, and we're just there as a third wheel, is just bad writing. Simple as that.
Self-interested writing, really, but that's kind of just the thing. There's an entire video talking about that here.
Yep. All right. With that brings us to the end of this episode. On behalf of Brooks and myself, thank you for joining us today. Day has dawned. Have a great day, everyone.
Hold on.